Peace, love, good health, and black power. And then if it's okay with you, I would like to talk about manhood and accountability. I had a call a couple weeks ago, and I wanted to talk about I was telling my brother Mook that I want to talk to one of my former fighters about coming to help me train because man, I'm 3 years away from 60. And so I'm trying to get somebody to come in the gym a little longer to try to, keep the legacy going. And so, unbeknownst to me, Mook had called him while we was in the gym. And when I talked to him, I was like, hey, Chuck, man, what's good, man? Good to have you, to hear from you, man. Good. Man. And so he said, man, I got a bone to pick with you, man. I said, what's up, champ? Yeah, man, you used to say I was acting like a bitch or call me bitch, and I was like, champ, man, if you was acting like one, why? If you was acting like one,
Yeah, what you mad about?
Yeah, what's, and so, man, I feel like, we become a product of our environment. And I gotta tell you, when I was growing up, man, the older guys always checked us, always told us if we was acting unmanly or whatever. They would get on us about that stuff, man. So I kind of became the older guys that used to tell me what to do. As years went on, I kind of morphed into them.
Yeah, you became a reflection of your environment.
Yeah. And so he was super upset with me, man, and I don't have no ill feelings towards the kid. I think in life or in sports, that you should be able to tell the truth, and you should be able to just talk to your fighter, because I did feel like in moments that he could have pushed a little harder, but as a coach, you might say stuff to get a reaction out of a person. And you might just feel like that's what they're being at the moment. Man, in every sport I know, in life, I've seen dudes on the corner and dudes smack them and you don't do nothing. I'm gonna be like, man, man, you let that dude smack you like that and you ain't.
Man.
Yeah, so man, what you think, home?
Man, thinking about it now, do you think it was more of, because a lot of times what I realize in life, we get upset with people for what we didn't do or what we didn't accomplish. Do you think it was a part of, do you think all this anger and everything was instead of taking responsibility of his career and the things he didn't do to become as good as he wanted to be, and he, instead of focusing on himself, using you as a scapegoat?
And so I wanted to name the show Manhood and Accountability. And I definitely think that because when I'm telling him, hey man, at some points you did act, and he was like, nah, I ain't know this and that. I just wasn't focused. I wasn't doing. And so,
Ho. I hate to interrupt you.
Okay.
So he did say he wasn't focused. Okay, hold on. Let's go through this logically.
Okay.
So how many days a week do you want your fighters to come to the gym?
Man, ideally we would do 6 days a week. We would do 5 in the gym, and then we would do 1 outside. We would go run Mount Summer on my bitch, and then shadow back.
So I'm sure he came every 6 days a week.
Man,
did he come 6 days a week?
No.
Okay. All right. So he didn't come 6 days a week.
And so in the beginning, he came pretty good, and he won the novice Golden Glove championship. As soon as he won the championship, he started missing days a lot.
So okay, because there's some things, man. Was he So that's man. Like I spoke about this, but man, fighting is the most serious. MMA fighting. I don't want MMA people to get me. Judo. Any live fight is dangerous. You don't. So to become the best in your field, you have to put in not just marginal work, but you have to put in the most amount of work.
Hey, what your man say? You gotta be like a what?
Who's that?
You say your man said, man, you gotta be like a monk to be.
Oh, yeah. My man said, he said, you box? I said, nah, man. He said, whoo, you gotta live like a monk to box. Yeah.
To be a successful fighter.
To be a successful fighter.
You gotta be a successful. Yeah.
And so you don't have, I spoke about this before, it's like closest thing to war.
Yeah.
Like, I like the Navy SEALs. I like it because it's like they swim.
Yeah.
As a part of it. But when they training,
but you left out they swimming in the ocean in 0 below water.
Swimming in the ocean with sharks in the cold. So these people, instructors, when they going through what they call Hell Week,
right? They
put them through the worst possible conditions that they can imagine.
Yeah.
They taking what most people even fail out. They don't quit. Right. A lot of people fail out in the water part because they take you on the water, take your scuba mask off, wrap it up, and you got to unwrap it and put it on before you drown.
Right.
This is what they're not telling you, they're not saying, hey, you're doing pretty good down there.
Yeah.
They got to yell at you. They got to beat it into you that this is life or death situation.
Yeah. And people have died.
Yeah, people have died.
And people have fell out.
But guess what? You know what? Some people have fainted underwater because they weren't going to quit.
Yeah, right.
That's how serious some people are dedicated.
Yeah.
They will, before they come up, they're going to faint, they're going to die.
Right.
And so fighting is not the sport for niceties.
And the fainting heart and
and all that, man. So you got to do whatever you can to motivate your fighter, to motivate these warriors.
Or at home, man, listen. You think that I'm messed up, but in reality, I can see this not for you, and I don't want to get you hurt, man.
Because as we know, not only have fighters die in the ring, but what's the most common thing that you see with fighters who stay longer or who stay in the ring and not dedicated?
Punchy is I don't know what, man. They take these whoopers, they taking these fights for these little bit of monies, but as you alluded to, God didn't make us to be punched in the face.
At all.
And it takes a toll on you, man. And you never know. I know around boxing circles, they'd be like, man, that man took so many whoopers. If an acorn hit him in the head, he might he could be walking over down the street, acorn hit him, and he just
and you know what bad trainers do? Or what's the word, man? I hate to use the word insidious or evil, but bad trainers will keep that fighter fighting.
Man, I'm gonna go farther than bad.
Yeah.
Broke trainers.
Yeah.
Man, when I first got into this thing, God bless his soul, a mean Muslim told me, hey man, always have a source of income so you don't have to be a snake and have this dude fight a fight that you know he can't win or you know he might get hurt in so you can pay your light bills. Yeah, he told me that.
So and what you tell me, what I see is you're trying to teach boxing, not fighting.
Yeah.
Boxing is the art of hitting.
And let me say this, Neil. I gotta reflect on this because in 2003, I took my son to Syracuse, New York, to the Junior Golden Gloves, and I seen this little kid fight. His name was Mark Davis. I don't know where Mark out of New York or Ohio, but he was a mean little joker. And one of the guys that I knew had a fight to get ready to fight this kid. And I done watched this kid knock 3 people out Monday, Tuesday, when he knocking somebody out every day.
Wow.
And his whole thing was, after you let your punches go, he had a high guard, he gonna catch everything, and when you step back, he gonna step with you to drop the hook. So I told the little kid, I said, man, whatever you do, when you step, get off a line. Don't step straight back. Go right or left. Please don't, man, in the first round, he pulled back with his hands like this. My man pulled back, jumped to the hook. Knocked the little dude. I promise you, I can remember like it was yesterday. Man, I got tears coming down my eyes. And I don't even know the dude, but just the whole thing, it was overwhelming. Man, they popped the smelling salt. He ain't wake up. Popped another, he ain't wake up. They, the ambulance came. They put him on a stretcher. They put the joint around his neck. And man, probably about on the way to the ambulance, he kind of opened his eyes and kind of was. But man, that's the scariest thing. And so, man, when I'm training a fighter, that's always in the back of my mind. I never would want to see a fighter that I train go through that. I would never want to see it, and it stick with me. So if I see you ain't doing what you supposed to do,
this ain't for you.
Man, and then I'm gonna pull you up and be like, hey man, you need to do this. But then after a while, nah man, you need to go ahead, man.
Man, in the military, in war, either you do it or they're kicking you out. Because they're responsible for your life.
Yeah.
So you ain't running, you ain't getting yelled at, you ain't getting cold, thrown in the ocean, you ain't going through all this pain, lack of sleep, because lack of sleep, you start to get dazed, hallucinate. They ain't taking you through all this. And not only that, they spend like $30,000 per person.
Yeah.
They spending a grip on making you a fighting machine.
Right.
So they can't, there's no niceties in that. They're responsible for you.
Right.
So you have to be in the top shape. You have to be able to dig down. You have to be able to, all this yelling, cursing at you, calling you everything except the Son of God, is to prepare you for action.
Yeah. And then, what people don't understand, you get your body in shape, but it's 70 to 80% mental. You got to be mentally tough as all.
So if I'm calling you all type of, that's why they call them all type of names. Because if I can break you by talking about your dead mother, you don't need to be here.
You don't need to be here. Now,
because when you sit in the field, no, he said something about my dead mother. Man, people get killed. For real.
Yeah, that ain't funny.
I guess.
Yeah.
Man, so they and then this is the reason why I talk about they put a lot of research. They spend a lot of money for each individual in these special ops.
Right.
But what money did he spend for when you go to college? You gotta pay the teachers.
Man.
So what did he give you for your time?
Man, when I started, Jim, I started a non-profit organization, but I never got a grant. And I had the gym in the basement of my mom's apartment building. And they never charged me rent. So I never charged nobody. It was just more than anything, me getting the enjoyment out of watching these guys fight and becoming young men. I wanted to, in my neighborhood, the older guys kind of groomed us to be from kids, from boys to men. And I just wanted to do the same thing. I never.
But look, you did the same thing the military doing to you're putting on a resource in. The
Right.
most valuable resource any human being has is his time.
Man, I agree.
You can't get it back.
I agree, champ.
So if anybody is willing to put their time to teach you anything, you know that's you can't put a value on
You
that.
can't put a value.
Yeah.
And I used to tell them, dude, man, at the time I had to run, I had to be to work at 4:30. I used to get up 3 o'clock in the morning. It was a 10-hour run, get on work, go grab me something to eat, go to the gym. We get out the gym.
You know people can't do math. How many hours were you getting to sleep?
Man, I might get into bed 9:30, 10 o'clock. I had to get back probably 5 hours. For years. And then on the weekend we fight. And so, man, I'm popping Red Bulls and everything else trying to, yeah, man, so.
And that's the thing that, you know, that's the thing that, like, a lot of people don't look at, man.
Yeah. I think we live in a society where people don't, where everybody's so selfish, they don't care but nothing about themselves. Yeah. But, you know, Neil, man, when I was growing up, and I always say this, the old timers used to give it to us raw and uncut. And by you knowing that this dude fooled with you, you didn't take it in no negative way. You like, man, he got a point.
Yeah.
Man, I tell you, man, right before my father died, well, in the gym, I had some fighters that was doing pretty good, and I just sit there and watch them, and I gained like 85 pounds.
Yeah.
Yeah, you remember?
Of course. But you gaining weight because, one, you ain't sleeping properly.
Man, I ain't sleeping.
5 hours of sleep.
Man, I'm grabbing, eat anything, trying to get to the gym. Man, give me this. But I come to see my father one day, God bless his soul, man. And he called me a hog head motherfucker. And man, I didn't be like, man, oh, he hurt I was like, man. And he was like, man, what the fuck? And so the very next day, I started exercising, man. And I haven't stopped. And I think, you know, you got to see or take your time out to figure out if a person telling you somebody ill content, like just trying to hurt your feelings, or he telling you, just pulling you up like, oh, nah, man, you know.
But see, here's the thing, though.
I'm listening.
You know that this person is, first of all, is putting his time into you for free.
Man.
He's teaching you an art for free.
Man.
And a good teacher for free.
Man.
So how can he wish you any ill will when he already gave the most valuable resource he's had is his time?
I think people, and like I say, when I try to, you know, I stopped trying to talk because I kind of, you know, I was trying to talk to him because there was a lot of stuff went on, but I was trying to talk to him and he was like, nah. And then he started, you know, kind of like, who is you? Who you to talk to me any type of way? Now with this particular kid, Neil, I would never forget him because he had fought in the Golden Gloves and he had made it to the championship. And the same day he made it to the championship, 2016, May, my father died. May. And man, I said to myself, I went and told my brother, I said, man, you know, man, my father wouldn't want us to go home and cry and all that, man. We're going to go out to it. He was like, okay, yeah, we're going to go. And shorty, when I said, man, I'm going to go out here with you, but you got to win this championship. And, you know, not to big up myself, but, man, you know, people would have went home and cried and all. We got business to take care of, man.
Life is for the living, man.
Yeah. And so, man, again, man, you know, I asked you, hey, Neil, man, I know you personal trainer, man, can you come in and you used to do strength conditioning and get with the guys?
Mm-hmm.
Man, I hired dietitians, fitness coaches,
So hold on,
swimming coaches.
not only are you giving the most precious resource you have is your time, but you also giving your hard-earned
money.
Money.
Yeah. Man, how many times you call me? Hey, Tone, did you switch the day? Ain't nobody. These dudes they wouldn't come, they wouldn't show up. And so I'm saying to myself, hey man, these dudes ain't trying to really, I ain't really trying to do nothing, man. They ain't. And so, and why the little kid, he getting on me. But I'm saying, Holmes, you saying all this stuff, but you don't box no more. Like, you tell me I was this and I was this and I was this, but you don't even box no more. So all this stuff, you kind of proved me right.
Yeah.
Man, I think, like I say, man, accountability. Like, man, if something go wrong in a person's life, the first person they gotta look at it is themselves. Because even if you don't like a job, you might gotta leave that job and go get you a skill and go get a different job.
Yeah. Even if you don't like it, if you quit,
yeah,
the bills they don't care
still
about.
Coming.
They still coming.
So what you saying? You have to
you
map
keep
out a
that
plan. Map out a plan.
You're gonna have to map a plan out.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think a lot of times we live in a culture that's so me centric. Like nobody want to reflect on the truth.
Yeah.
Nobody want to sit back and it's all about how you said this or how you.
Hey, God damn, that's mean. Because, people get more caught up into the delivery than the actual message.
The truth.
Yeah.
The way he said it,
his tone was all this other.
Was it true?
Yeah.
That's where we at.
Yeah.
And from coming up, man, black people, especially in particular, black people in America, they didn't have the privilege, the luxury to try to make sure your feelings ain't hurt because it was dire circumstances.
It was dying. During the civil rights, the people dying
out here, man. So, and then older people, when they older, they already live their life. They don't have time to your
patience gone. They ain't got time.
Their patience gone. Man. You need to do something better. Period. Yeah. So all that, man. I think the thing is, the truth hurts, right? But if it hurts, just like anything else, if you get hurt, you don't be crying. You can sit and cry about it, or if you have a sickness, you can sit and cry about it. But that's not going to change the condition. Right. You're going to have to. If the doctor come to you and say, "Man, you have high blood pressure," and what a lot of people do, they take their pills, don't take their pills, then they end up having a stroke. But the truth, because they didn't take the truth, doesn't mean that it's not happening. Yeah. So it's up to you to take the truth and deal with it.
Right? And man, for me, man, the truth really ain't hurt. I want to pull up.
Yeah.
Man, shit, I ain't high blood pressure. They told me. I started taking. Matter of fact, I still get my medicine today, but I don't use it. But I still go every 3 months and get it, and I check my blood pressure twice a day.
Man.
And if sometime like, man, I might can go get a Impossible Burger and then grab it up. But other than that, I stay on top. I want to know the truth, man. But if something messed up with me, because then it give me a chance to reflect on it and try to get it right.
That's the thing, man. Nobody want to take their personal accountability for themselves. And that's the problem, man. Yeah. So we raised a weak culture, and it's gonna always be what's circumstances for not taking the truth, adhering to the truth. So whatever it's going to be, it's going to be. But you got to, instead of getting mad at other people, man, you got to reflect and see that person. I'm telling you, man. One time, man, I got fired from a job, and I was happy. I was like, I will get unemployment. I will be eating good, still going to Whole Foods. Matter of fact, let me go get a welfare so I can go to Whole Foods. I can get man. And I told the dude, I told a elder, he was like a mentor to me. I was like, yeah, man, I just got fired, man. I'm gonna take a couple of times, get my unemployment, man, chill for a while. I need a break, man. All this work, man. These people working me to death. He said, man, that is the dumbest shit
ever
I ever heard from you in my life.
Yeah.
He said, you are a man.
Man.
He said, a man is supposed to work. He said, I don't care if you digging ditches or breaking rocks on the side of the highway. Yeah. You a man, you supposed to work.
Hey, but tell the people about one of my favorite stories. You talk about everything, but tell the people about when you say, man, I felt tired and I was using the bathroom. My mother called me sit down.
Oh, yeah. Man, I was like 7, man. I was like, dang, man. I come in the house, run the house, I'm on time, man. I was like, man, it's hot outside. Man, all I had to do was pee. I sit there and pee. My mom said, I guess she saw me through the, she said, man, if you don't get up out. I said, man, I'm tired of pee. You a man. Yeah. Men don't sit on the toilet. Yeah. You stand up and pee. Yeah. I was like, dang, man.
It's serious.
Man, I was like, man, I'm just tired. I'm all warm.
I can pee and rest on at the same time.
I like this. I might stay with this. My mom said, if you don't get your ass up on this toilet. She said, man, she said, nah. Yeah. She said, you a man.
Yeah.
A man. And I know for some people, they like, that's petty.
No.
Yeah, she was trying to tell me, man, you have, even though it might sound simple, but you a man, and so you have different responsibilities.
Yeah.
You got to stand up. I don't care how tired you got to stand up. I'm like
woo. Yeah.
What you say? I can pee and rest at the same time.
And they say, stand with 10 toes down. You got to stand with 10 toes down, man. Stop that. You know my favorite word. I will go with suck, but stop this bitch shit, man. Yeah, you got to stop it, man.
She sure don't hit me with that. Man, you got to get up off that.
Yeah. And so I think it's very important that, we put up on the young brothers, man, and man, especially in your circle. I ain't gonna say anything to anybody, but people in my circles, hey man, this is unmanly, man. This and that, and this and that. And I think, we gotta pick and choose our fights, but man, if you care about somebody, you should, and you got a relationship with somebody, you should be able to pull up, and vice versa, they should be able to pull up on you.
Yeah.
Hey, Tim, I gotta ask you, man. Man, I'm seeing more women taking care of men, and men want to be taken care of. Man, how you feel about that?
Man, I think that's weak.
Man,
and hear me out, people, because people are sensitive.
Yeah.
Weak does not mean weak is the absence of strength.
Right.
The absence of being able to lift heavy weight or sustain pressure.
Right.
So what I say is weak is mean that you cannot sustain the pressure, because there's a pressure with manhood.
Right. Most definitely. Especially the black man in America.
Man, hallelujah.
Man, like I said, we got so many people on our line, Chad. Man, they trying to instinct.
They say like to talk about it. Here we go. Man, yeah. So that's weak. That's showing that you can't sustain the pressure of manhood.
Right.
Now, it's one thing if you lost your gig, you're in a bad situation, you're trying to find, but just to sit and relax and watch TV and do stuff while your lady is working, nah.
Man,
that's unacceptable.
I went through a period when I ain't worked, but I was always trying to find a job, but I felt terrible the whole time.
Man, it's
I felt terrible, man.
And it's a big thing now, especially in the upper middle class. It's a big thing that men are opting because their wife make more money. They're opting to staying at home and they cook. They pick the kids up, change diapers. And some people say, man, what's wrong with that? man, I just think that as a man, even if she making 250,000 and you making 50,000,
Right.
it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's for you to be able to be productive because your children, you want, because you don't want. What are you showing your daughters
And your sons
and your sons?
Yeah.
So they gon' because you can say all you want, but kids learn from visual and from actuality.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, I just think, man, whatever you doing, man, even, man, I know some people, man, I know couples that the wife is taking care of the money because she has a good, a job, a lawyer or a doctor, but the husband is in med school. Right. So she footing the bill because she know that once he get his thing, but he has a goal and a plan. They as a family put together. They have a goal and a plan. And as a family, once he get his thing, when his wife get pregnant, then she can, if she wants to, she can stay at home.
Yeah.
So that's man, So but to sit and let your lady take care of you and buy your
Yeah, man. I just wanted to talk to you about it because, man, I see it a lot, and man, man, I'm with you. I think it's weak.
Yeah.
I can't. I think even on a spiritual note, like, we was made in the image of God, and our first priority is to praise God, but then our second priority is to work.
Man, in some spiritual doctrine I read, the work is praising God.
Yeah.
The work is worship.
Right.
A lot of people think that worship, you sit and pray and you don't do nothing and keep asking God for all the things you want. Nah, working is worshiping because God gave you energy, God gave you talent and all these things, and by you working, you helping not only yourself first, your kids second, but humanity.
Man,
because you're not being because if you don't work, you become a burden to society. Now people have to take care of you.
Man.
And that's you see what happened to our community.
Man, that's deep with that, Chin.
Yeah, man. So work is worship.
Yeah. I just want to add one more thing to this, Chin. Man, I was working down GW and I hurt my leg. And I sued him and I got a couple of hours, so I took off work for a minute. And I was pursuing the gym. And I worked the gym, but I ain't have no money coming in. I realized that I had to go back to work to take care of my family. And the reason I brought that up because, man, if you got a business or something you doing and ain't no money coming in, you got to have some.
But you know what's tricking everybody? These YouTubes, these TikToks. Make $1,000 on the weekend. Yeah. Do this. Like everybody think it's an easy way to get to what you want. Nah, you gotta work for it. Man. So you might gotta have 2 jobs. It's a story that I like, that me and a buddy of mine like. It's by a famous black sci-fi author, Octavia Butler. Mm-hmm. She talking to what's my man name with the black, Charlie Rose. Mm-hmm. And so she talking to Charlie Rose, and he said, so what time do you get up in the morning? She said, oh, I get up at a regular time now, about 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning. He said, that's regular? She said, yeah. He said, so what is irregular? Like what what's what were you doing before? Now she's a famous sci-fi author. Mm-hmm. She said, I will wake up at 2 o'clock, 2:30, and write until like 4:35. Right. And then go to work.
Man.
Not one day a week, 2 days, every day.
Every day.
Until her writing was able to be full time.
Right.
Yeah.
Man, I love that. I love that because man, I know people that's, have businesses and trying to start business, but ain't no money coming in. And sometimes, man, you got to, the way I feel, just like what you just said about the lady, man, until your business have enough money to take care of you and your family, you got to get a stream of income and just do that on the side until stuff paying out. And that's exactly what I'm doing, man. I work and I go to the gym. I ain't getting a dime, but I love what I'm doing, and hopefully one day something come out of it. But man, you got to have some. It's your obligation.
Hold up. I remember you still go to work like 4 or 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. I get up at 3 o'clock.
So you was doing a gym, which is your passion,
right,
and working. So how much sleep was you getting?
Man, probably like 5 hours. Man, right now I probably get like 5 hours.
Man.
Yeah, I probably get, and man, you know, man, it'll catch up with me like every 2 weeks. I might take.
Had to get a triple duper yo.
Nah, I just sleep the whole day. You know, when I'm off. Hey man, hey, I might call you. Hey Neil, can you get the gym for me today?
Yeah.
And just sleep the whole day. They catch up with me. But when you trying to build something, man, and you trying to build something, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah.
And so, I just wanted to run that past you, man, because like I think, man, the manly thing to do is to take care of yourself and your family, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
It's imperative, man.
Yeah.
I mean, if nothing else, it's so that you won't become a burden to society.
Yeah. Or a burden to your family. Shit, society. You might just be right in the family. Yeah, man.
Other people got to take care of you, man, and you are able-bodied.
Yeah. And to piggyback on all this, what I've been paying attention to lately, because now, you know, we got the Social Security's coming, they kind of tell you what you might get. Mm-hmm. Suppose, well, you're already embarrassed because I remember I called you up and asked you about it. You can't get Social Security if you ain't working to pay it into it. I didn't know, man.
Can you get Social Security if you're not working?
Yeah. And so, man, if you not working and you're not paying your Social Security and you're not paying into no retirement, how are you supposed to take care of yourself when you get older, man?
That's one thing about this life, man. Man, they should teach planning in school. If you don't plan, you short. A lot of times we just think, oh, I'm all right. You doing, you pretty healthy.
Yeah.
Man, it's so many people I see all day, older people in their 70s doing security.
Man.
Working here, working there, working at the door, checking on.
Speak on it.
Man, at the waiting tables.
Man,
like, hey, McDonald's.
Hey, throwing papers. They didn't knock the young jokers off the box. Now
they throwing papers.
Hey, look, they got 5
everything.
different routes.
Yeah, man. It's because that's Social Security. Because it's not about right now. It's about 30, 20 years from now.
Yeah. When you actually retire.
When you retire. So you're going to have money. Right now, an apartment in D.C. might be, if you can find it somewhere deep in the hood, $1,800.
Man, in a drug infested.
Man, oh yeah. Now, if you want to get an RA apartment, $2,000, $2,500.
But suppose you want to go up on Wisconsin Avenue somewhere
like $4,000. Off the gate. Let me get that. $4,000. If you want to be on Wisconsin Avenue near the zoo.
Yeah.
Hey, how you doing? A coffee shop. $4,000. Let me get that per month. Yeah. And so then you add in all the other stuff that you got to take care of. Gas, whatever. That's like $7,000, $6,000 a month.
Man.
Now, multiply that 30 years from now. That means it might be $10,000 for a month.
Man. One bed 50.
So if you only got $50,000 and you think you're gonna be paying $10,000,
man, that's 120.
And now let's get deeper into the rabbit hole.
Let's do it.
You ready to get deeper?
Let's get deeper.
They said, man, most people can't afford a $400 emergency.
Man.
Now this is people who working.
Yeah.
So if you don't got Social Security,
man,
you through booking.
Man. And so, I guess my suggestion would be to the men out there, man. If you don't want to work, find you a source of income, or man. But it's never too late to go back and get you a skill.
You got to get a skill, man. That's the most important thing I tell any man.
Yeah.
You have to get a skill.
Man, I remember, Champ, when I wasn't working and I was saying, man, I want to get paid this much and that much and this much. And I was telling one of my buddies, they looked at me and said, yeah. Now, this is before the internet, brother. They say, well, man, I hear you, homie. But do me a favor, Champ. Man, go get the paper, man. See the job that you think which job that you actually qualify for. And, man, all I could come up with was really housekeeping.
You know what I'm laughing at?
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to share this story, but what about when you said, that's what I was thinking about the other day.
Yeah.
When you said, he said, hey, yeah, y'all was out, I think on a vacation. Yeah, man, hey, how you doing? Yeah,
yeah.
So how much you make a week?
Yeah.
And you said something. And you
he
said,
said, yeah.
He said, yeah.
Yeah.
He said, nah.
I was working at the store.
I'm not talking about per month.
Yeah. I was working at the store.
Hey,
before
so I bust out laughing in my bed.
I say, at the store, I only worked a couple of days, and I was making $5,000 a year. So the man said, man, I'm trying to want you to invest in this time shit, man. So how much you make? I say, man. He said, nah, I ain't say how much you make a month. I said, how much you make a year? I said, 5,000. He said, yeah. Yeah, it's no sort. He turned around. I said, true story.
Oh,
Man,
hey, man.
What is it?
He said, hey, man, he just stopped talking to
looked at me like, that's mathematically impossible. What you get? How you gonna make $5,000 a year?
Oh, man.
True story. Yeah, man. True story, Jen. Yeah. So man, these things was happening to me the last couple of weeks. I just want to, do a pull-up, Champ, man. I don't want to hurt nobody's feelings. Just a pull-up, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Be responsible for your actions, man. Yeah.
And if you got kids, be responsible for your woman and your kids, man. Yeah. Get a skill, a trade, or a profession. Man, you getting deep, baby.
Man, you got to have it. As a man.
Hey, but tell me, is it ever too late? Because I don't think so, but is it ever too late?
Nah, not as long as you got lungs in your lungs.
Man, that's right. Because a lot of people be like, man, it's too late. It's never too late.
It's never too late.
Yeah.
I know a lady, man, that I knew from my mom, who grew up with my mom. She went back and got her degree at 72.
Man.
Yeah.
And one more thing, man, before we close. Man, if somebody say something to you before you react, man, kind of reflect a little bit before you react, man, and don't get emotional. Because even with these deaths going on, man, a lot of this killing because, man, he said such and such, man, I'm going to kill that. Man.
You're going to throw your life away.
You're going to throw your life, yeah. Try to reflect first, man, before, and think about your actions, and think about more than anything, the outcome.
Yeah, and think about when somebody telling you something that the truthful, or somebody telling you something that you might feel is hurtful. Is it somebody who invested into you? Like if it's just somebody in the street, then whatever. But did this person put time into you? Is they a person who you count as a friend, or have some type of like they say, dog in the fight, or have a reason to tell you the truth?
Yeah.
And if it's so, this first, it may hurt, you may feel emotional about it, but then reflect.
Right.
Take time and see, is it true or not?
Right.
Is it true or not, man?
And like you said earlier, I didn't mean to cut you off, but 9 times out of 10, you already know. You in the mirror every day.
That's why the truth hurts.
Yeah, you know what's happening. Man. you already know. You can't hide from yourself.
A lot of times we be thinking because out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah.
Out of thinking about it, it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Nope. I told you, like the old lady told me, man. Old lady, I help you across the street. She said, "Oh, thank you, young man." She said, "Young man." She said, "You a handsome young man, but you need to take care of your teeth."
Hey, But you working on that. You got that good job.
I'm
you
working.
get
I'm working on it.
working on it. Yeah.
But it was truthful.
Yeah, it's truthful.
And it wasn't no malice or nothing in it.
Yeah. Man, that's where we come from, man. I don't know who to blame about all this feminist, genderless society.
Yeah.
All
the women I know, they wasn't about that. I don't know how the feminine. I don't know what this about. Yeah. This emotional stuff, because especially the black women, man, we was around. Nah, they wasn't.
They was tougher than the dudes.
Man, were they?
Man, I'm telling you, my mother, man, be like, man, you bitch ass nigga, you don't. Man, I told her, I say, Mom, what happened to you? Man, you used to be mean as all. What happened? She say, nigga, keep living, man. You get my age, you come all the way. I want all you to do. Yeah, 30 years from now, let me see what's happening with you. Yeah, man. Yeah. Okay, then, hoes, man. Like I say, man, hey, please like and subscribe to this channel, man. We need your help. We're trying to build this channel up, man. And man, Neil came to me and told me, man, we need to do a show uplifting men, man, and building men up a couple of years ago. And I was just, because this Neil idea, I just went with him, man. But this show basically about, man, making men better and our families and communities. So that's all we're trying to do, man. Yeah. Mind, body, and soul. The goal is to die young as late as possible. And always give God the glory, man. I promise you, man. Always. He with you. He with you. Every day of the week. We out. Yes, sir.